And so just a little bit more on that. I've taken some pictures over the years. And so even before these asphalt projects start and during the project, there's a lot of processing of the aggregates. This is a crusher over to the left, and it's making the stockpiles of rock and crusher dust, the byproduct of crushing the rock. And there's also, we use a lot of some of the screen material back into it. The pictures at the bottom here are of the recycled asphalt pavement that is most likely been milled off the pavement prior to the overlay or whatever going on it. And so that also has to be treated like an aggregate material too, except that it has some binder in it. So that's a special part of that. So once the stockpiles are made, then the project starts. So this is kind of the main workhorse out there that does all the delivering from the stockpiles to the separate bin splits on the plant. And it's actually quite interesting to watch once in a while how they can actually, usually one of these could be used for just the whole job, and they really get their work out of these things. So once the material is in these separate bin splits, all the different components, as you can see over, there's a schematic I have onto the upper right here, and that every one of those bins you see to the top left there has got something like a schematic like this underneath it, and it's actually depositing on a conveyor at a certain rate. If it's 20%, it's going to, if it's all these materials are 20, 15, 20%, whatever it is, they have to gauge that. It all has to be calibrated to make sure that it puts out the right amount. There's also moisture. What complicates it a lot is the fact that there's moisture in all this. So that has to be allowed for. The bottom two pictures are just photos of once the material leaves those aggregate bin splits, it has to go on like a scalper. And these scalpers have a certain size. I think it's like a half an inch or something that has to be more than the actual gradation, nominal maximum size of the gradation. The main purpose here is to get the oversize off it. And there's actually one like this for the recycled asphalt pavement too. So once it actually gets up makes it through the scalper, then it's going to go up this conveyor here. And this is the main conveyor that has all the aggregates on it. It's all combined. It's what they call some call it the coal feed belt, but some will call it the charging conveyor. That's the one that's going to lead up to the drum. And you can't really see it very well, but on this particular conveyor now, there's actually what they call a weigh bridge. And this weigh bridge actually kind of looks like the one up here in the top up here where I have the pointer, but this weigh bridge will actually weigh it at an instantaneous value, what's going over on the belt. And then there's another mechanism here that actually times it for a certain time. And then there's a totalizer at the bottom here where actually totalizes it all up. So you actually get a rate, and like, for instance, tons per hour. And that's an important term in the asphalt is a rate, because everything has to be geared to certain tons. Moving on.